Let's talk about weddings. A day you spend a fortune on, just to watch your uncle embarrass himself on the dance floor. In Seoul, wedding halls, once booming, are shutting down. Not just the small ones, but grand iconic venues. It's like Starbucks quitting coffee. On the surface, it makes no sense. You'd expect, with all the K-drama romance, that business would be thriving. But here's the twist. As these halls close, the cost of getting married in South Korea is exploding. The average wedding now costs tens of thousands, sometimes even six figures. So, fewer places to get married, but the price keeps climbing. It's supply and demand turned upside down. Imagine iPhones getting pricier because fewer people want them. This isn't just a quirky business story. It's a warning sign for society. The paradox of closing wedding halls and rising costs reveals a deeper issue about love, money, and the future. It starts with an empty building and ends with us questioning what weddings really mean. This is about more than cake and confetti. It's about how a generation is rethinking life's milestones. Why are these temples of matrimony turning into real estate ghosts? Why does "I do" now cost as much as a condo? Let's unpack the great wedding hall ghosting, because the answers are more complicated and more fascinating than you think. Let's get into the numbers. The main reason wedding halls are closing? People just aren't getting married anymore, especially in Seoul. South Korea's marriage rate has hit record lows, a dramatic shift that's left wedding halls empty. Young Koreans are delaying or skipping marriage, thanks to sky-high housing prices, job stress, and student debt. For many, adding a pricey wedding to that pile is just too much. These massive venues, built for hundreds of guests, can't survive on a trickle of bookings. Their business model depends on volume, but with fewer couples, the math falls apart. You can't pay for a 500-seat ballroom with a handful of small events. It's classic oversupply in a shrinking market. In cities like Seoul, where living costs and social pressures are highest, the decline is even sharper. The old path, job, marriage, house, now feels like a fantasy. The drop in marriage rates isn't just a stat. It's a sign that young people are redefining what happiness and success look like. For many, a big wedding just isn't part of the plan anymore. The empty halls are the most visible symptom of a much deeper social change. With fewer couples, you'd expect wedding prices to drop. Instead, the industry doubled down on luxury. Enter premiumization, selling ultra-expensive packages to the few who can still afford them. Weddings are now marketed as exclusive, luxury experiences for the wealthy or those who want to look wealthy. All-inclusive packages bundle everything: venue, photographer, catering, at a non-negotiable, sky-high price. If you can only host a few weddings, you need to make each one count, so prices soar. This creates a vicious cycle. Higher prices push more people out, so the industry goes even more upscale. Marriage is turning into a status symbol, reserved for the financial elite. The middle ground, affordable, nice weddings, is vanishing. Couples either elope or go all in on extravagance. The industry's message: go big or go home. For many, going home is the only option left. The dream of a normal wedding is fading fast. So, you're in love, want to get married, but you're not rich. What now? For many, the answer is, take out a wedding loan. Yes, banks now offer loans just for weddings, like a student loan, but for a party. Couples are starting married life deep in debt, just to afford a single day. These aren't small credit card charges. They're specialized loans, marketed to desperate couples. The pressure to have a proper wedding is so intense, people feel they have no choice. Social media, family, and tradition all pile on the expectations. So couples sign up for debt, starting their marriage with financial stress. This debt can delay buying a home, saving, or even having kids. The irony? The celebration of your union is what puts it under strain. The wedding loan is a symptom of a culture obsessed with appearances. Couples stretch their finances to project stability, even if it's just for show. The wedding loan isn't just a financial tool. It's a warning sign. When the appearance of success matters more than the reality, everyone pays the price. Let's get specific. Who bears the brunt of wedding stress? The bride. While debt is shared, the emotional and social burden falls hardest on women. "It's her day" sounds nice, but it's a trap. She's expected to plan, execute, and please everyone. Cultural traditions and the wedding industry both target women, selling a fantasy of perfection. Social media sets impossible standards, making every detail a potential source of judgment. The bride becomes project manager, mediator, and the face of the event. Double standards abound. Grooms get praise for showing up. Brides are judged on everything. The emotional labor is immense, managing budgets, family drama, and expectations. In many cases, the bride's family shoulders more of the direct costs, adding financial strain. The bridal burden is real, a toxic mix of financial, social, and gendered pressure. What should be a joyful time often becomes a period of anxiety and stress. The cost of perfection is higher than ever, and it's women who pay most. So, with wedding halls closing and costs soaring, who's actually winning? Not the venue owners, they're shutting down, but a new elite is thriving. Luxury hotels and exclusive venues now dominate, charging astronomical prices for all-in-one packages. They cater to the wealthy, offering prestige and convenience. Wedding planners and agencies have become essential, acting as gatekeepers to the best vendors and venues. They take a cut from every service, profiting as weddings get more extravagant. And don't forget the banks. Wedding loans are a booming business. They profit from the social pressure and financial desperation of young couples. The money hasn't left the industry. It's just moved to the top. The winners are luxury hotels, elite planners, and banks. The losers, small business owners and most couples. The industry is more exclusive and more profitable for a select few than ever. The wedding business isn't dying. It's just consolidating at the top. The wedding crisis is forcing a reckoning with tradition. Big weddings were once a rite of passage, uniting families and affirming status. But today's economic reality makes those traditions feel out of reach and out of touch. The focus has shifted from building a life together to putting on a show. The closing of wedding halls is a cultural statement. It's time to rethink what love and marriage really mean. The wedding crisis isn't just personal, it's demographic. Fewer marriages mean fewer births, deepening South Korea's population crisis. Weddings are now a marker of class, dividing those who can afford them from those who can't. The pressure to create a perfect day sets unrealistic expectations for marriage itself. The empty halls are monuments to a generation caught between old traditions and new realities. The social contract is being rewritten, and the old path, education, job, marriage, kids, is breaking down. Love stories are being put on hold, not for lack of love, but for lack of money. So, is the modern, super expensive wedding really worth it? The empty wedding halls show the current model is broken. The winners are luxury hotels, elite planners, and banks, not couples or families. Maybe the decline of the traditional wedding hall is an opportunity. It's a chance to create new, authentic traditions that don't require financial sacrifice. The real question: do we value the performance of a wedding or the substance of a marriage? The story of Seoul's wedding halls is a mirror, asking us what kind of future we want to celebrate.